Okay. Let's address the Sauce Gardner was benched rumors. Finally, let's just take care of that real quick. All right, let's start the show.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
What's going on, beautiful people? My name is Paul Ashton Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your friggin' podcasts. We're turning the page, baby. We're looking ahead to the Tennessee Titans. We'll have several Titans Insider on the digital program this week, so just make sure you like the video, hit subscribe, and you won't miss a single thing. Let's bring in our special guest. Here on every Wednesday, we bring on our Jets reporter from the Pro Football Network and Athlon Sports, Nick Faria, here on the program. What's up, Nick? Good morning.
How's everything going, Paul?
It's going all right, although we just need you to exchange perhaps your reporter tag for detective to try to figure out what the hell's going on here. So, Sauce Gardner, okay, I just want to address this one kind of right off the bat. Sauce Gardner's in the game, as he normally is, superstar, cornerback, all these things. All of a sudden, he's on the sideline. We're like, oh, that's kind of weird. Starting defense out there. Did he get hurt? Lisa Salters, absolutely no medical issue. Okay, and he's just holding his helmet. And then there was a lot of rumors on social media. Oh, he got benched for some tackling thing. He got this or that. And so I just wanted to bring it to you, Nick, and try to understand what the hell. Did Sauce Gardner get benched?
No. Let's put that out there. No. And I will say, anyone saying it was a tackling thing, it really wasn't, because there was one particular play the drive before that Sauce Gardner actually made the tackle, and he came out looking a little sore. It looked like he was grabbing his shoulder. It looked like he got hurt. And then when Lisa Salters spoke to the Jets PR and they said there is no injury, all it essentially was, okay, I've played football before. I've gotten the wind knocked out of me. I'm sure, Paul, you have gotten the wind knocked out of you at some point. I don't know if you've played football before, whatever it is.
I did, yes. Yep.
It takes a little bit of time to get back to, okay, I'm breathing right. Everything's fine. I can go back in now. It is not something that it takes a play and everything is good to go. And you don't want to put a player out there who is not breathing properly. Robert Salah kind of said he got the wind knocked out of him. Sauce Gardner said the exact same thing. We can argue whether it's a conspiracy or not, but in the end, I choose to believe the people that are actually involved in the discussions. I choose to believe people that are involved in the conversations of what was going on that day. So it just tells me, listen, this is a big bag of nothing. People get the wind knocked out of them all the time, and it takes some time for them to get back to 100%.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thought it was weird. And then I don't know. I don't make much of this, but obviously Sauce Gardner yesterday, he took to social media, and this was his quote. So let me get this straight. Y'all really think I tackled Debo and was just like, man, I don't want to do this anymore, and took myself out the game? Whatever happened was temporary, and when it went away, I was back in. LOL, simple as that. Of course, in classic Sauce Gardner fashion, he immediately deleted that tweet, so thankfully I was able to grab a screen grab of it, because and I don't think, some people say, ooh, you delete a tweet because you didn't mean to say it. Sauce just seems like a very unique individual that marches to the beat of his own drum, and some of his rationale for why he deletes tweet is kind of weird. So I didn't make much of it like he was trying to hide from what he said. I just think that Sauce just operates a little differently than the rest of us sometimes.
Look, if he was a cornerback that's coming off a game where he gave up 180 yards, 10 catches, and was just inconsistent, that's one thing. If there's one player we're going to question on this team, any single one, I don't think he's the player to do it. He was targeted twice, had a great pass breakup on one of them, didn't allow a catch. I mean, listen, we can argue about him getting the wind knocked out of him, whatever that was, but when he's on the field, he's elite. When he's on the field, he's the best corner in football. I don't think this is the guy to really go at and say, well, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? I mean, there were no chances for him to come away with interceptions yesterday. There were no chances for him to cause some turnovers. What he did was he did his job. He took away half of the field. Unfortunately, the other half of the field was pretty successful for San Francisco.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Yeah, it was a great Brandon Ayuk had the ball right in his hands, and Sauce Gardner with the karate chop, and
It
the
was a
ball
great
came
play.
right out. Yeah, terrific. So I'm looking forward to a Sauce, hopefully, getting some more opportunities, certainly in the future. And as we're turning the page here from San Francisco to Tennessee, we have this early look at Tennessee. We'll be speaking later this week with a couple of Tennessee Titans insiders from their side to try to get a feeling for this. Is your take the same, Nick, that basically this San Francisco game was obviously very difficult? It was in San Francisco. All of that was difficult, but the Jets still have all of these games in front of them. So a little rust and losing to one of the best teams in football isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world?
No, it's not. And I'll kind of play devil's advocate for both sides. Any team that is panicking after week one, any playoff contending team that is panicking after week one, I think is just being foolish. And that goes to the Cincinnati Bengals, who were far more embarrassing, in my opinion, than the Jets were. The Jets went on the road and played the defending NFC champions. The Bengals played at home against a team that won 3 games last season and lost. There were far more teams that look more embarrassing in their situation than the New York Jets. So I think in reality, there needs to be there needs to be some semblance of balance here. Is this game going to determine the playoff scope for the New York Jets? Absolutely not. You played an NFC team. You played the best NFC team that is stacked on both sides of the ball. This was the clear demarcation point of saying, okay, this is how far you need to get to if you want to be a Super Bowl contender, because you're not right now. That doesn't mean they can't be. It just means that they aren't right now. So there are improvements to be made on offense and on defense. No one's denying that. Now, on the other side, I do have some concerns about this coaching staff after week one. And again, they have time to adjust. But when you have an offense last season that didn't really use the personnel that was on the field, and I'm looking specifically at McCole Hardman, the main excuse for McCole was they didn't have enough plays. They didn't have enough plays. They didn't have enough chances on the field to get him in there. In reality, he had just lost his spot to Xavier Gibson. This year, what is the excuse for not putting Braylon Allen in situations that are conducive to success? 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 3rd and short, 2nd and short. Plays that you can keep Breece Hall off the field for, or at least use him in a unique way that they just didn't. And Robert Saleh's message of, yeah, we could totally use him like that. Okay, well, why didn't you? I don't like those kind of answers, because agreeing with people that are asking, shouldn't you be doing this, doesn't mean that you're in the right. It means that, dude, what are you doing? These players are on your team. Play them. You don't have to wait 4 weeks out of the year before you start playing your rookies. That's just not, it's not conducive to success if these rookies can produce right away. On the defensive side, it's been the same thing. They run a defensive scheme that is simplistic, and it's the same look. They tried to do different things. You look at the All-22, they tried to do different things on defense. They tried to bring in some blitzes. They tried to bring in some different pass rushers. They try to use different guys in different spots. All of that makes sense. But they're still running a cover 3 system. They are still, they're not maintaining the edge. They're not setting the edge as their edge rushers. They're not doing a good enough job. And I think that has to do with coaching more than anything else, because when you go from the 16th best run defense in football, which is what they were in 2022, to 25th the year after, you can say, oh, that was a player or two, that was an injury here or there. Well, what's the excuse now? 6 of the last 9 games, this defense has given up over 30 points. They are still a very good defense with an elite secondary. But this coaching staff's going to have to produce and going to have to adjust. Otherwise, they can't keep burying their heads in the sand, because it just makes them look foolish.
So what is your sense here? Last year, despite everyone, fans, media, everyone questioned, where the hell is Mecole Hardman? Where's Mecole Hardman? Where's Jets coach staff? Like, excuse. And then he's traded. And we're like, oh, okay, I guess not. Braylon Allen, I don't anticipate some crazy trade, but like, when Do you get the sense that they're eventually like, geez, we probably should have used him in the short situation. Okay, now we will fix that problem, whether it's Tennessee or very shortly here. Or do you get the sense that, yeah, they're going to keep doing what they want, so sorry, fans?
No, I think it'll happen.
Okay.
I just think that they're too patient with some of these guys in terms of getting them the ball. Whether they want to be, they can be slow with Malachi Corley, and it makes sense. He needs to learn the route tree. I'm not arguing that thought process. I'm not even arguing making sure that Olu Fashanu sits behind Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses. Not arguing that.
Mm-hmm.
But Braylon Allen, all we have seen in training camp, every single practice, every single joint work, every single preseason game, was that he was a man amongst boys. He was so difficult to tackle. But in the one game, probably the most physical game the Jets are going to play this season, he's not on the field. It doesn't add up. If you're looking to win that game, why aren't you having your better players, better players for a matchup purpose, not on the field? That's my biggest issue. And it seems like this continues to happen where they start a little slow with their rookies. Garrett Wilson wasn't really targeted in his first start. The very next week, he goes out and just dominates. You have that with Breece Hall. You have that with different players. All of that I get. You don't want to just push your rookies onto the field when they're not ready. Look at the rookie quarterback class. They were awful in week one. The rookie receiver class was non-existent. Malik Neighbors, Romo Dunze, Marvin Harrison had one catch. So I get the idea of they want to sort of bring them in slowly. But didn't you think, and again, Paul, this might be me, it seemed like the offensive strategy was just passive. Let's not get hurt. Let's not make a mistake. And let's just get away from here with full health and don't have to worry about anything else. And that's, to me, the wrong strategy to have when you're going up against a team like the 49ers.
Yeah, that's very fair. Again, we're speaking to Nick Ferrier, our New York Jets reporter, Pro Football Network, and Athlon Sports here on the program. And as you can see on the scrolling ticker, baby, we are 25 members away from Terrence getting his emoji unlocked. So feel free, baby, on top of liking the video and hitting subscribe. That's free. Everybody can do that. But if you want to, go the next step, join the Boy Green Coffee Club. That link is down in the YouTube description down below. Or just hit that money sign on YouTube if you're watching. You can gift memberships. Click that final option. Gift memberships 1, 3, 5, 10, 25, 50. You can do any of those memberships that you'd like. All right, Nick, Aaron Rodgers, I'm curious your analysis of what we saw from Rodgers and what we will see in his next opportunity. Now that he checked it off the bucket list, first full game played in 20 months. He started the game. He ended the game. Health, no issue there. And now we have a consecutive road trip here against the Tennessee Titans. What did you see week one against the 49ers, and what are you expecting to see in terms of any kind of a jump as the Jets travel to play Tennessee?
Honestly, I got what I expected out of him. He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad at all. I think he was pretty solid. I wouldn't call him elite. I think the pocket awareness, I think he didn't trust his leg at that point. I think he's still trying to trust it overall. You saw him scrambling. It just didn't look fully capable as a scrambler. It wasn't moving the pocket as well. It was just catch and throw, which is perfectly fine because he's done it for so long and he was successful doing it. That one touchdown drive to give the Jets the lead, I think everyone was seeing championship at the end of the year with that drive. It looked very, very solid. So I think as he continues to play, he's going to be able to bring that trust in a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. So I look at where the Jets are with Rodgers, and I think they have to be very pleased. And the offense, they did not control the line of scrimmage. They wanted to run the ball against San Francisco because they had the matchup. And it just didn't match. It didn't match. And when you get stuff like that against the run, it makes you one-dimensional. And yes, they were only able to put up 19 points, but this defense is elite, and they returned most of their players. So we have to give them the benefit of the doubt of, okay, you played a really good team today. Now let's see what you do against a Titans team that is very young, very new to each other. They have new pieces all over the field. There should be no excuse to not dominate at that level on Sunday.
Before we get any analysis on the Titans, if a gun was held to your head and you had to predict what you believe is going to happen right now, Jets-Titans, what would it be?
I think the Jets are going to win a close game. I think This is still a work in progress, and I think we
Okay.
saw that pretty simply. My faith in the defensive line has shaken a little bit, and I think that's where the concern will be, because the Titans, their offensive line is vastly improved. I think their running game, it looked solid against the Chicago Bears. The big question for them is Will Levis. If Levis just took a knee the entire second half, the Titans probably win that game. Chicago didn't score an offensive touchdown. So I think the Jets should be able to win that game. It may not be this blowout that people are looking for. And as long as they pull out the win and go to 1-1 for that New England game, I think they'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah, you're probably right on that front. Getting a win is a win, but I'm sure a lot of people are kind of tantalized. Actually, I want to go to this first before we fully turn the page. This is the vibe I got. I wonder if it's the vibe you got. So after the game, immediately after the game, we also had the presser. It was either yesterday or the day before, and Robert Saleh was asked, like, "Oh boy, this defense is looking pretty questionable, coach." And there was also questions about the offense. And Saleh, again, immediately after the game yesterday, it's like, we're going to fix it, okay? Again, now I'm going to paraphrase a lot. Like, I'm Robert Saleh, okay? Any defensive problem, no problem. We're going to fix that. No issue whatsoever. Zero concern. Like, get lost, people. It's going to be fine. So I was like, oh, some arrogance, some dismissiveness, some whatever. Like, come on, people. I'm Robert Saleh. And again, if it works, like, okay, Robert Saleh, you have larger cojones. Congratulations. But if he's wrong because of that level of just brushing it off, like, boy, it's going to look really bad if, like, let's say the Titans, Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears are running crazy and do the same exact game plan the 49ers did, and the Jets look like they aren't stopping the run to that level. Boy, Saleh's going to look in a different light. So I'm curious if you picked up the similar vibes, for lack of a better word, coming from Saleh, and whether or not you believe that we can actually plug the hole that apparently is there from a run defense perspective.
So I'll actually give a comparison, because I don't disagree with you, Paul. I don't disagree with you at all. I think saying, oh, we're going to get this fixed, that's not a strategy. You need to actually show it. And quite frankly, the Jets defense, I've defended Saleh and this coaching staff before, and I've said they've been able to develop defensive talent at a very high level, and they should get credit for that. Tony Adams, Bryce Huff, Quincy Williams, all these guys that have developed under their management. That's a feather in the coach's cap. But when you give up 30-plus points 6 times in 9 games, what does that tell you? Something needs to change. And you can't just walk out and say, well, we're going to run our defense because we have better players, and we're going to be able to win on Sundays because of that. That's not a strategy. That is not understanding who you are as an organization. And really the comparison to me is Doug Peterson. I remember during his final years in Philadelphia, the big thing was Doug Peterson going to give up play calling? Because Philadelphia's offense looked stale. They were very, very bad. They didn't have any real receiver depth. There wasn't any improvements on the quarterback. And Doug Peterson said, this is my offense. I'm going to run this offense because I know it can win. I won a Super Bowl. I know what I'm doing. That's not a strategy. And what ended up happening was it blew up in Doug Peterson's face. He got fired from Philadelphia because he refused to change. He refused to adapt. And now in Jacksonville, he has one playoff season, wins a playoff game. And where is he now? Well, he just had a 14-point collapse in Miami. He missed the playoffs last season due to a late season collapse. He's on the hot seat as everyone else. So these guys, these coaches that sort of dig their head in the sand saying, this is my system. It's worked before. It's going to work again. That's not good. That's not conducive to long-term success. What it really shows is a coaching staff that just is going to go down with the ship, how he runs things, no matter what. And you see it a lot of different times. Bill Belichick refused to change with the Patriots. It was his way or the highway. And now he's unemployed talking about football on television. You look at Hugh Jackson. I think that's another great example. You had Hard Knocks with the Cleveland Browns a few years back where Todd Haley goes, I think we really need to change this up. We're not doing a good enough job. And Jackson essentially goes, well, I'm the head coach, and I'm saying it's going this way because I've seen it work before. That's not a strategy. That is not something that is conducive to success. That's my problem. That's my problem with that. You can't say it's going to be fixed, when for 6 of the last 9 games, it hasn't.
We will see. Again, they're going to be. I would be stunned if I was a team and I'm playing the Jets. I'm the Titans. I'm the Patriots. I'm the Broncos. I'm the Vikings. Go, whoa, that looked pretty effective. What the 49ers did, copy paste. It's a copycat league. Let me try that. At least attempt it. If it doesn't work, immediately or through like a first quarter or first couple, okay, they fixed it. All right, let's do something else. But like, they all owe it to themselves to at least dip their toe in the water. That water looks a little warm. That looks a little nice. Let me dip my toe in there and say, oh, wow, that is nice. Oh, so the same things that the 49ers did are working for all of us. Okay, great. Again, I'm not saying whether it will or won't. I don't know, but I'm just saying the team should be crazy at the very least not to try. So we will see. This isn't one of those things where Salah says something emphatically and we're like, we'll check back on this in 6 weeks. We'll check back on this immediately to see if indeed the problems will be fixed against a team in Tennessee who, by the way, someone that's given Salah problems in the past is Bill Callahan. That should be a very familiar name to Jet fans. He's perhaps the best offensive line coach of all time, certainly the best offensive line coach in the game right now, and he's given Salah fits from a schematic to schematic perspective. I'll be curious if he has some of those same issues heading into this Titans game. Again, the personnel obviously is quite different from Tennessee to San Francisco, so maybe we'll keep an eye on that. Nick, I have to ask these updates if there are updates to give. We talked about week 1 potentially being this leverage point and this pivot point in the Hassan Reddick New York Jets saga. And, well, the Jets didn't generate much of a pass rush at all. I know it says 3 sacks on the stat sheet, but I think we all watched the game, and that was not 3 sacks. So, with that being said, I turn it to you. Was leverage changed dramatically in what happened in week 1? And do you anticipate a bend on either side? I would assume if there was any bending, it'd be on the Jets, not Reddick. What would change for Reddick that the Jets didn't have much of a pass rush and Reddick's like, all right, fine, I'll come in. I'll help you guys out. Like, it seems like if there would be any bend, it would be the Jets going, okay, let's get this over with. Joe Douglas drives to Hassan Reddick's house, if he even knows where that is, and then just shows up and says, okay, well, what's it going to take here to get this done? So any Reddick update to give, and if not, do you anticipate the Jets or Reddick, I suppose, bending the knee and just banging this out?
Well, I kind of said this before. Week 1 is going to be the demarcation point of
Sure.
What's happening here. And quite frankly, the Jets lost, to me, a lot of leverage. Yes, they have control of his contract. Yes, they'll be able to hold him hostage until he shows up to the facility. All of that can remain consistent. And during that time, if this Jets pass rush continues to struggle like they did on Monday night, they are losing their leverage because they cannot afford a slow start. They cannot afford to go 1-4, 2-4, those kind of issues. It's not possible because what's stopping Woody Johnson from saying, this isn't good enough, we need new blood, Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas, get out. This is what it is. If they're going all in, they need all of their top players. And I think they lost a lot of leverage on Monday because essentially when your pass rush isn't getting home and Reddick, his run defense is better than Will McDonald's. It's better than a lot of these players that the Jets have on defense. When he's on the field, he is a game changer, especially against the 49ers. Could you have used him in that game? Absolutely. Would it have changed the outcome? It may not have. But it would have been more competitive, at least on the defensive line side. The Jets walked in on Monday night to Santa Clara and got absolutely destroyed from the line of scrimmage. It was not competitive in that regard. So that's a big concern. So I do think Joe Douglas is going to have to take a long, hard look at himself and say, listen, I said fast. I did everything I could to have a hard line overall, and it didn't work. He has his leverage. We need him more than he needs us right now. I can keep taking money away from him left and right, but how helpful is that going to be for the team? And I think that's the big problem right now. I think the Jets did lose leverage. I personally think they should have already agreed to a contract to like the minute they got off the plane in Florham Park. But ultimately, again, it's a wait and see. If the same thing happens against the Titans, the Jets are just losing mountains of leverage they originally had in the first place because they were banking on their multiple first-round pick defensive line to produce at a high level. Quinnen Williams had a couple nice pressures. He made a couple nice plays, but he's one guy. He is not the other four, and the other four got blasted. I think it's pretty clear that Hassan Reddick is needed on this roster, and I think he's pretty much needed on this defensive line overall. So eventually, whether it's the Titans game, whether it's the Patriots game, whatever it is, the Jets need to come to an agreement here, because the longer they go out, the weaker this group seems to look.
Yeah, my gut feel on this, again, Nick, we get to talk, well, technically twice a week for those who enjoy the radio side every Tuesday, and then also the visual side every Wednesday. But boy, if it doesn't happen, today's Wednesday? Today, tomorrow, he's not going to play against the Titans. There's a short week against the Patriots, so that would seem incredibly, like, if he even showed up, that would seem really irresponsible to throw him out there against the Patriots. So then all of a sudden, we're talking week 4, and maybe that's the pivot point that we should circle on the calendar, is that after we have 3 games in 10 days here, we got 2 more games in the rest of these quote-unquote 10 days against the Titans and Patriots respectively. There's a mini bye. That, in theory, would be a perfect time after the Patriots game. You have the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then full prep, obviously, for the following game. That pocket of time seems like a perfect time to get Reddick in. You guys figure everything out, and then he has a full week of game prep, and let's just see kind of where he is from playbook knowledge and everything else perspective. That might be a date to circle if there's no news today, tomorrow, like somewhere within the next 24 hours, because then it feels like it's probably shut, not just for the Titans game, but probably for the Patriots game too.
Yeah, probably. And listen, there's a lot of doom posting here. There's a lot of, oh my God, the team's in disarray, and they're not going to be able to win as many games as possible. If they were to beat the Titans, and the offense looks competent and the defense improves from Monday night's debacle, I think it'll quell a lot of concerns, not just here, but also Reddick. Certainly, after the Patriots game makes a lot of sense. I am just concerned that if this pass rush does not improve, you're looking at a potential 1-2, God forbid, 0-3 start. And then what happens? Now everyone's on the hot seat. Everyone's freaking out. And it's just give them whatever money you want. Now you're paying the guy $28-30 million instead of 25, 22 around there. So I think it's a wait and see game in a lot of cases. In this particular case, it's all about the leverage. And like I said, the Jets lost a lot of leverage on Monday. I will say, they can sort of get some of that back if they play well against Tennessee. And the Titans, as solid as they looked against the Chicago Bears, this is still a rebuilding team. This is still a young quarterback who holds on to the ball for a very long time. The offensive line is a work in progress. The Callahan family does an unbelievable job with offensive linemen, one of the best groups in the NFL in that regard. But it still takes them time to get people ready to go. So beat Tennessee, and then this conversation kind of goes a little bit differently overall.
Again, if I'm the Jets defense, I'm licking my chops after watching that Will Levis falling to the ground. Pick 6. After not getting a turnover against the 49ers, you want turnovers. Let's go second-year quarterback Will Levis. And then I feel like he's a detonating bomb that if you get one turnover out of him, he starts freaking out. All of a sudden, maybe this could be a game that blows wide open and led by the defense, which I'm sure the offense would truly appreciate based on what transpired the week before. So that's a volatile situation from that perspective. I don't think there's any question about it. Everybody, the phone lines are now open. It is the pinned comment on YouTube, youtube.com/boygreen25. Do you have a question for Nick Ferry? It's been on your mind for years. And now finally you can unload it and just ask it to Nick, because I'm sure he would love to answer your question. So again, phone lines are open. Feel free to chime in. And again, we are 25 members away. I see Terrence is commenting in here. He's in Cabo right now. He is commenting on a New York Jets live stream while he's in Cabo. While his little toes are in the beach and the sands of Cabo, he is commenting on the show. If that doesn't show dedication, I'm not sure what does. So again, 25 members away from Terrence, of course, getting his emoji unlocked. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We'll go right off the top rope. Let's go to your favorite caller, everybody. B-Mac joins us here on the show. B-Mac? B-Mac. Hello. What the hell? B-Mac. Mac of the B. B-Mac, are you there? B-Mac?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my God.
Yeah, you're on the show, man.
How long was I?
Yeah, it was like the last 5 minutes we've been trying to get you.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I'm totally embarrassed. Can
What
I
happened,
call
Ted?
back in?
Sure. Okay. What? Come on. What? Oh my God. Yeah. What the? He called into the show. What do you mean? Were you prepared? You call into the show. Okay. B-Mac, hello. What the hell? Oh, tears. Woo. Okay, that got me. Okay, we'll go to door number 2. I suppose that was funny. I don't know who's responsible for following that up. Who better? Let's go. Dave Briga here on the show. Woo, mama. Dave, good morning.
What happened there? What happened there?
We're all wondering the same thing. I have no idea.
Oh, well, I'm glad you put him off. I'm glad you put him off. I just want to talk football. I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff, you know?
Sure.
Anyway,
go ahead. Yeah.
I have to ask Nick a question. Now, okay, the Jets use this wide 9 scheme. Now, they don't seem to properly adjust. You've been to the practices during the summer. What seems to be the problem that they can't adjust? I mean, I don't understand this whole, the whole what's going on there.
Well, I think it's a kind of mix of a couple of things. First off, the Jets offense runs a different system than what the 49ers do, particularly in the run game. The other piece to it, and I haven't mentioned it on this show, but I've mentioned it before, Kyle Shanahan knows this defense like the back of his hand. It's the same defensive system that San Francisco runs, so he knows how to attack it. The problem was he was essentially in the Jets huddle because he knew what the calls were going to be before they were made. That's how knowledgeable he is of this defense, of the strategy, of the pressure points that come in for this defensive group. So I think Robert Saleh just got outcoached, and I think that was the biggest issue. Robert Saleh, Jeff Ulbrich, they both got outcoached in a massive way against an offensive genius that has been an offensive genius now for the last 5-6 years. So I think if this same thing happens with Callahan and the Titans, if it happens with the Patriots, you better sound the alarm bells. But ultimately, I have to wait and see what happens after that, because this was a very unique situation. You're not playing a team that knows this defense as well as San Francisco does. It's just the way it is.
Nick, do you think that they're just too light up front, that they can't, when they use this package schemes that are wide outside and they really don't have a lot of pass rushers that have any experience? He doesn't know how to adjust, or it's just that they're overwhelmed because of the lack of beef inside. I mean, last year when they had Al Woods, right? When he went down, it seemed everything changed. They just couldn't stop the run from that point on. I don't know if I'm taking a correct take on that, but it just seems like ever since he went down, they haven't been able to adjust properly.
Well, I will say this was the first game for Javon Kinlaw. Solomon Thomas has been there as a veteran, Quinton Williams, all that. But the team, I thought, if there's one player that the team actually missed, it was Leaky Fotu. He was brought in as this run stuffer on first and second down. That was why they brought him on. And again, he's on IR. He's not going to be here for the next couple of weeks. So that's something that they're going to have to traverse. I think ultimately the defensive scheme is what it is. Robert Saleh is going to have to update it if he wants his defense to be excellent. The other piece to this that I think needs to be added is that the wide 9 should, and I say should, I emphasize should, the wide 9 should be able to stop stretch run plays. Jim Schwartz down in Cleveland loves the wide 9. He's run it even during his days with the Detroit Lions. When you have edge rushers that set the edge as well as Cleveland does, as well as some of those other defenses do, you can be really, really successful. The problem is Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald were two of the lowest graded players from that game, and I think the tape matches that. Michael Clemens was not good either. You talk about ESPN had the rush win rates that were actually pretty high for some players on the Jets, but the tape shows a completely different problem. They weren't tackling well enough. They weren't setting the edge well enough. That could be because a lot of the starters did not play in the preseason. That could be a point of emphasis. However, at the end of the day, they just got blown off the ball. And that sometimes happens to teams. It happened to the Patriots when they won the Super Bowl in 2014. It happened to the Patriots when they won the Super Bowl in 2016. These situations can come up. These situations do happen. I don't think it's the end of the world. It's just something that is alarming that it happens this early to a 49ers team like that.
Nick, you're an Eagles fan. Remember the
Oh, I guess his call dropped out. I didn't do anything there. So don't know where Dave went. Okay. You are an Eagles fan, Nick. I'm glad that's a mic drop kind of moment.
Listen, this is kind of what I'm saying, though. I'm looking at this. I don't have I don't have anything in this fight. I'm not arguing with people saying, well, this is how it works for them and this is how it's done with that. It's just you have someone, and this is why I've been saying that I feel I offer unique perspective on the Jets.
Sure.
Because I look at things in the way other teams have done it. I look at teams that have been successful doing different things. The wide nine has been universally used for a very long time. It's not a bad system. It's very good. It can rush the passer really well. You can do a lot of great things out of it. But when you don't have the edge rushers to be able to handle it, that's the problem. And in week one, it didn't look like they did. Now, can that change? Of course. This is not the end of the season. You're 0-1. You're not 0-4. You're not 2-5. You've got a very winnable stretch coming up with the Titans, Patriots, Broncos, and Vikings all in front of you. If they play a lot better and the defense performs at a higher rate, then we're having a completely different conversation. But it's not fair for me to say everything's fine, don't worry about it, when clearly there are major issues to fix.
All right, I think Dave's back. You had a phone issue, Dave. Well, actually, I can't bring you back. There's three of you, and that's very strange. All right, Dave, we'll have to get back to you at some point. I see three Dave Brigas here. I don't know what's happened with your phone there, but, normally I've been told if you see three in your life, you're supposed to pick the middle one, but that's neither here nor there. I think you're dealing with some phone issues there, Dave. So let's go to the next person here. We'll go Tony Alexio's back on the show. What's up, Tony?
Hey, good morning there, fellas. I called you a couple days ago, and my first time, and it's my second time, and I talked about something that came to pass: the run defense. It was like the Titanic. I mean, really, it was. And the sad part about it is, if you're coaching and you can't stop it, you put other players in you make some type of adjustment. No adjustments were made. This guy Clemens is, he looks like a real tough guy, but it doesn't show up on the field. What's he doing out there? I mean, and then you have Hackett. I mean, we lost by coaching. I know we're going against the best coaching staff, but you have Braden Allen was tearing up the field in the preseason. Short yardage, 31, 4th and 1. You don't even see this guy on the field. And the offense, the defense of 49ers, they knew what we were doing. I mean, it's time. We really need Allen on the show to help us out here. I mean, how can we have this much suffering more? It looks like much more is to come. This is the beginning of birth pain here. This must be our year. This must be our time for the dynasty to start. But with these idiots like Salah and Hackett, it's not going to happen. They just find a way to lose. They're losers. I mean, I'm sorry to say, I mean, it's just terrible. I don't want to be. I'm a positive person, really, but the pain is too overwhelming. I've been watching since I saw Namath my first year as a Jets fan, and the whole bottom's collapsing right before our eyes. I I hope Woody just cleans house. Not JD. He's been this guy Kinlaw is another JD bust. All right, didn't see what we were the only one bidding on him. Why we let go of the guy. I think he went to Minnesota. What was his name? He did good for us last year. We let him go for less than $3 million.
Oh, you're talking about Quentin Jefferson. He went to Cleveland. Yeah, he signed a $3.6 million deal. Yeah,
right. We let him go for peanuts. He performed well. Why you let go of good players and you're bringing garbage?
Tony, apparently that one was a faxing issue. I've heard that, or a texting issue rather. The faxing one was Elvis Dumerville a bunch of years ago. But apparently, Quentin Jefferson, the Browns went, "Hey, Quentin, here's a 1-year deal for $3.6 million." He said, "Okay, hold on, agent, call up the Jets. Give them the price match guarantee. Those commercials, price match guarantee. You match Jets, I'm coming back to the Jets." And then he was waiting. He was waiting. The Jets never got back to him. He's like, "Man, Cleveland could pull this deal on me. I don't want to be left with my pants down here. I guess I'm going to Cleveland." Goes to Cleveland, and Jets get back. "Yeah, sure. That sounds good. Wait, hello? And that's apparently what happened according to the reporting that happened. So that's unfortunate on the Quentin Jefferson thing.
Tony, I'm just going to ask you this. Are the 49ers a good football team?
They're a great football team.
Okay, so you walked in to the 49ers stadium and you got your bell rung. Are you playing another team like the 49ers again this season?
No.
So then why is the season over after 1 week of football?
Because I've seen this for too many. We've all seen this too many times. If next week we go in there, well, they're going to be throwing a run at us, and if they don't make adjustments, I mean, my problem is Salah doesn't make adjustments during the game. I mean, he doesn't take people out.
That's fair.
I mean, he doesn't take people out.
The same thing.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. I mean, if you see somebody out there not performing, bring the next guy. Where's LT? He played good. He could have stopped the run better than what was his name? McGregor.
Yeah.
I mean, you have bigger guys on the bench, or they weren't. I don't really think they were activated to play. That's how stupid the coaching staff is, not having people that are better even being active to play the game. This is like a fireable offense. So we really need Allen to come in.
It's not a fireable offense week one. Stop.
Tony, come on, man. Poor bastard, for God's sakes. I know there's been a lot of us, and I can't even speak for me because obviously I'm in my 30s, but, I know there's been a lot of Jet fans that have a lot of scars from a lot of years. But please, don't try to put your past scars on your current relationship, okay?
This is a new team. This is what I'm saying. 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
There were concerning things about Monday's game. I'm not sugarcoating. I've been talking about it for the last 40 minutes. But to sit here and say the season's over, there's so many problems. Yeah. Wow. They need to be fired now. Oh, my God. What happens if they play the Tennessee Titans and Braylon Allen goes on the field and puts up 45 yards rushing and they win the game by 10 or 15? Whatever it is. Just breathe, guys. You played the hardest team on the schedule week one. You don't play the 49ers again. It's not like you play the 49ers 17 straight weeks. You play the Titans. You play the Vikings. You play the Patriots. By the way, just so everyone's aware, I believe it was the Jacksonville Jaguars who won week one of the NFL season with Gardner Minshew at quarterback and then proceeded to lose every other game the rest of the year. Week one means nothing. The Patriots beating the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati does not mean that the Patriots are suddenly this great football team. It means they had a very good day, and that is it.
Yes.
That's the problem here. That's what I'm saying. There are clear issues. The team clearly needs Hassan Reddick. They need to solve that as soon as possible. But if they're 2-1 after this 3-game stretch, are we really talking about these kind of issues? Most likely not.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Just to reiterate what you said about, San Francisco, we don't play them again. The same thing, so San Francisco bullied us and said, hey, here's how you beat the Jets. You run the ball down their throat. Not everyone has the personnel of San Francisco. So we go to some of these other teams that are going to try to copy and paste the 49ers. And then if it doesn't work, they're like, what's wrong? Well, you don't have Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, this, that, up, down, Kyle Shanahan, all these reasons. That's why you didn't. But again, those teams are going to try. We will see, Tony, if they're able to adjust. The one question, go ahead.
I'll say this. I just looked at the Tennessee Titans roster.
Okay.
Is J.C. Latham as good as Trent Williams right now?
I would say no.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Is Peter Skoronski, the guy who was one of the worst graded offensive linemen last year, is he better than Trent Williams?
Not that I'm aware of.
Probably not. How about Lloyd Cushenberry III?
No.
This Titans run game, yes, it looked good against the Bears. That doesn't make them the 49ers.
Right.
It just doesn't.
Yeah, the one we have a bunch of calls, so we'll get to all you guys. But the one criticism I would have of Hackett that, like, you're like, well, what's going on, man? And thankfully, the pass protection was great, really, really good. Great. You got to call it whatever word you want to use. They give up 1 sack of the game. The one criticism is, Hackett seemingly put Rodgers in a lot of bad scenarios where he could have been sacked. It was run, pass, run, pass, run, pass. First, second, third. And then in an obvious passing situation on third down where it's third and 5, 6, 7, 8, obviously the Jets are going to pass the football, which I was concerned with because I'm like, if I'm the 49ers, I'm like, hey, Rodgers, prepare for this blitz, buddy boy. We're coming because we know you're passing. And that's what I was a little fearful of because those immediate kitchen sink blitzes where you just – like Tom Brady would just fall to the ground. He's like, I'm not getting hit by this. And he just collapses, and it's just like an auto sack. Despite the obvious third down passing situations, Rodgers was sacked once in the entire game. So I thought the pass protection was very nice. But the criticism is like, Hackett, what are we doing, man? You have there's no excuse anymore of Zach Wilson, this, that, or the other. You got Aaron Rodgers, man. You got all this talent we talked about. You don't need to run, pass. How about a play action on the first play? I don't know, man. Mix it up. So that was a criticism, and hopefully it was just, again, one bad one there, and we can just kind of keep moving.
Yeah. No, 100%. And listen, I'll say this again.
Yeah.
No one's saying Nathaniel Hackett had a good game. The offensive line pass protection, I thought, was pretty good overall. But other than that, the offense was pretty quiet. I think a large part of that had to do with the fact that Rodgers didn't really trust his knee. He didn't trust his leg. And I think you hear him on Pat McAfee. You hear him talk outside of me. It's like, I'm just happy that I got hit and I got up. That is, you talk to players who are coming off of major surgeries. That is a major, major turning point for those players to get back up after hits. The fact that Rodgers took a couple hits and then got back up, that is a very important part to this conversation.
Yes, 100%. 100%. He did get sacked and he got back up, and thank God. A lot of us are like, oh, thank God. And then he completed the game, which, again, to me is the greatest achievement of all of these. Again, Salah said at the end of his presser, like, hey, Salah, which do you prefer, 0-1 and you have Aaron Rodgers, or a 1-0 and you don't have him? He's like, 0-1 isn't so bad. Okay, that one's pretty good. All right, let's go to a YouTube super chat here. Every time we get a YouTube super chat, we play a quick message from my daughter, Zariah Luna. Wow. Feed the Fat Rabbit has this to say. Thank you for the super chat. We bathe the Titans in their own blood, and everyone forgets about this debacle. Bottom line, they prepared for Christian McCaffrey. Kid caught Salah with his pants down. Bad. The bathing in their own blood, that's very vivid and descript, Feed the Fat Rabbit. Thank you for that. But that part is true, that they were preparing for Christian McCaffrey. They found out 90 minutes before the game that it was going to be Mason.
That's not a good enough excuse.
But I was going to say, you would think that would help. Okay, we prepared for all this, and in theory, Mason should be able to do this. Like, the amount of carries, I think he had something like 28 carries in this game. They said on the broadcast, that's the most amount of carries he's had since high school. So, I mean, shoot, that should have, certainly should have helped. But I think it's not really the Christian McCaffrey thing and, surprise, you're not playing against Christian McCaffrey anymore, and now you're unprepared. I think it was just Kyle Shanahan knows Robert Saleh intimately well, and he flexed all of his muscles knowing his tricks and how to take advantage of him. I think that was the bigger piece of the puzzle here.
The Shanahan tree has gotten great running back play from anyone that is running the ball for them. This is not some brand new scheme. This is not some, they caught us off guard. No, that's not a good enough excuse. Salah had a bad game. They had a very, very bad game from a coaching standpoint, from a personnel deployment standpoint. None of it was good. I think that alone should tell you that if this is going to change, it's going to come down to the coaching staff being willing to say, hey, we've got to switch some stuff up. You got to switch some stuff up on the D line. We have to switch some stuff up in our personnel deployment on offense. Whatever it is, it needs to be changed.
All right, let's go to another YouTube super chat. Ace of Spade chiming in here. Zariah Luna?
Wow.
I see. Ace of Spade chiming in. Will other teams copy the 49ers strategy versus our defense? Yeah, we just talked about it. I think they're going to try, and they should try. I would be crazy if I was the Titans offense coordinator and didn't go, let me give that a spin. It would be weird. It'd be like seeing what happened in the game, and I'm the Titans that go, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go 5 wide receivers, and I'm going to attack the air. That's the key. If they do that, they're dumb. That would be a stupid thing to do. I would try what has already previously been proven to work. And again, if it doesn't, if I'm the Titans, I'm like, all right, I tried. All right, let's pivot to whatever the hell we were going to do prior to seeing Monday Night Football. I think, yes, will other teams copy the 49ers strategy? They will try. I don't know if they will have the same success, but they'd be crazy not to try. They'd be crazy.
No, 100%. And Callahan's do that already. And they're going to be very hard out on Sunday. I just don't think they have the horses on the offensive line yet to do it. Do it like Skoronski against Quinnen Williams is an overwhelming matchup for Quinnen Williams. And the difference between what the 49ers can do with their questionable offensive line compared to what the Titans do with their offensive line, it's vastly different. It just is. This is not the same offense. This isn't the same coaching staff. There are reasons to suspect that the Jets will be able to play a lot better on the defensive line. If they don't, the price tag for Hassan Reddick is just shooting through the roof right now. That's really what it is.
Yeah, so thank you for the super chat, Ace of Spade. We also have a gifted membership here, baby. MFC, mother_effing_chew, baby. Play them. Our membership of choice here on YouTube. Again, feel free. You guys can punch in your own ticket on youtube.com/boygreen25. It's also in the YouTube description down below if you guys would like to chime in on the channel. YouTube is catching up to this request. So 1 second, I'll read that individual in just a moment. But we are now 24 members away from the Terrence emoji, again, as he is chilling in Cabo. And I just heard that he's 3 hours behind. So he's on the show at 5:22 in the morning. Good Lord. Ask for another, mojito or something, for God's sakes, Terrence. What are you doing, buddy? I mean, I appreciate the support. I won't question the support. It's terrific. By the way, Paul Bruno, you're now a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Shout out to Mother Effin' Chew for that gift. Okay, wow. All right. Respect Terrence. Respect Terrence. That is a real trooper. All right, let's go to the next call here. We got NY Jets FL joining us here on the show. What's up, buddy?
Morning, gentlemen. On a somber 9/11, I want to shout out prayers to the families and our country in general, New York, for everything we've been through for that. And maybe prayers for the Jets defense too. I didn't want to segue into that, but
hey, actually, before you segue into anything, I just want to say that was really cool. I don't know if you did that on purpose. You leaned that phone over there. I called it smoothly. You just kind of walked over dramatically to the phone. What's up, guys? Here's my take on the Jets. I just thought that was great. It was only maybe missing some music, a fog machine perhaps, to kind of part the way through, but that was perhaps one of the most dramatic entrances we've ever had on the history of this show, and we just celebrated 4 years the other day.
Congratulations on the 4 years, and I appreciate the the shout out.
Of course. It's the least I could do.
I'm going to give Salah a half to figure this out.
Okay.
I'm not talking about firing, but I'm talking about the defense. Okay.
Right.
If we see Ashton Davis covering a Deebo Samuel again, and because of whatever is that scheme, is that everybody was lost. Okay. I want to see Michael Clemens on a very, very short leash because he's a backup at best, maybe even a third stringer, as far as I'm concerned.
Whoa.
I want to see Eric Watts. I want to see Leonard Taylor. I'd rather put the young guys in there. And maybe Quinnen does need an assistant in the interior. Leonard Taylor's shown me enough to put him in there. I mean, the first thing with stopping Will Levis Titans in general, like you said, is stop the run because he's obviously a young quarterback. And let me say this: Brock Purdy, he's pretty close to elite. I don't care. I always laugh at him when I hear Brock Purdy. Haha, Brock Purdy's a system quarterback, and I know they have great talent, and Shanahan is, evidently a genius. Even though Salah knew what he knows the offensive playbook, but he can't counter anything. They have a great team. They probably have maybe the best team in the NFC. Maybe the Lions are, maybe the Rams are, but let's just go with that.
Well, can I just ask you? I just want a quick thought. I hate to do this, but you mentioned Brock Purdy being elite. Like, I mean, I don't want to be a dick or anything. The Jets are the one that lost, but like, what elite did he do? They ran the ball down the Jets' throat, and he threw it to a bunch of wide open guys. It wasn't like we're seeing Aaron Rodgers tight window throws. Damn, Brock Purdy put it in a place that no one else could have got.
I got to be honest. I'm with Jets Florida here. I'm with Jets Florida here.
Really?
He's gotten to a Super Bowl. He's gotten to a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
he's gotten to a national championship game. And listen, we can talk about game managers this, game managers that. Give me a game manager who wins over Joe Burrow, who loses early in September consistently because he can't stay healthy on or off the field every day and twice on Sunday. I'm sorry. I think Joe Burrow.
Does that make him elite, though? I'm not questioning that he should be the starting quarterback for the. Yeah, of course he is.
What makes him elite? He hasn't stayed on the field for 2 years.
Well, he's elite with fragile slapped on the left cheek, I guess. But there's an asterisk.
We can't be changing. If he's elite, then he's elite the entire time, and we have to judge him based on the eliteness. Every game, the 49ers are coming in and they're kicking everyone's ass. It's not just the Jets that are doing this. They have kicked everyone's ass left and right for the last 3 years. And
if he had a few Super Bowl rings, I would feel differently. If he had some jewelry,
and he didn't.
So a participation trophy,
but he wasn't bad in that game either. He wasn't the reason the 49ers lost that game.
Well, he's not the reason they won either. That's elite.
But so Jalen Hurts should be victimized because of his Super Bowl loss.
Sorry, pal. Yep.
Sorry, I put him at the same level as Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? He's like,
stop it! Come on.
No, he's better. I think he's better than Dak.
Come on, what are we doing here? Come on, these takes are no bueno. How in the hell?
He wins. He wins playoff games.
Right, that's the difference. But Dak is he's maybe on the fringe. That's not really his fault.
The fringe? What are you guys talking about?
Guy threw for 180 yards against the Browns, did nothing overall from an offensive perspective, and
he didn't have to.
Right, because the team is really good.
Oh man,
I like this argument. I like when you guys argue.
Yeah, we don't. That's true. We don't get enough. It's a lot of wow, Nick, you look great today. Oh, Paul, not too shabby yourself. All right, you're the second best looking guy in the show. Thank you. Wait, we're the only two. Yes, yeah. We need more argument. That's good. That's good for business. Sure.
Purdy's going to get paid. So let's just say that.
No doubt. Yeah, 100%.
On the Aaron Rodgers thing, I think they put him in bubble wrap the first game with the offensive line.
It felt that way with the strategy too. Yeah.
These calls, run, a lot of runs. Any other game you would, and Mike Williams too. You want to get him through a game and see, let him get his feet wet. Let Rodgers get his feet wet. Any other game when Breece Hall is not working, you'd spread him out and throw and then get some running lanes open. You go the other way, but we didn't do that. We were just very ultra conservative. Now the defense is alarming. That, like I said, the Ashton Davis is covering Debo Samuel.
That was bad.
I'll say this. I will say this about Ashton Davis. He had very much like similar to everyone else. He had a very bad game. Under no circumstances am I going to blame him for failing against Debo Samuel. I will blame the people that put him in the position where it's him against Debo one-on-one. That is just egregious coaching. That's an example of coaching failing the players.
Yes.
There's no reason to have that play in there.
I agree on that one. Let me follow up with this one, Nick, because unfortunately Ashton Davis had a few. What about Kyle Juszczyk, a fullback, captain athleticism? Ashton Davis can't cover him.
Can't happen. Absolutely not. And again, I'm not saying Ashton Davis was good. That's not what I'm saying. But
That's fair. I agree with the Debo thing. Right.
There are two situations.
Yes. If the coaching staff said, "Hey, Ashton, yeah, Debo,
you got Debo Samuel.
lock him
That
down,
is a disaster.
100%. That's on coaching. That's fair. That's on coaching, and it just looked bad. Debo just went. He just like smacked him out of bounds and just ran for 30 yards. So right, that one's bad. The use check one was disgusting.
You gotta guard. You gotta guard.
Fair
the
enough.
Fullback. Sorry, I don't care who it is. No fullback is elite enough where you're losing to a safety.
Come on, that bad too. He beat him by like 7 yards. That was bad. That was bad.
Okay, I retract my statement about Purdy versus Dak. I'll say
Thank
he's
you.
Goff then. He's more like Goff. Okay, let's go with that one without the arm strength. But
Okay,
you know,
all right. There you go. On that compromise trade, okay, I feel better about you now, NY Jets FL.
I
There you
hate
go.
it. I hate it. What are we
Laughing at me.
doing here?
I
There we
really think Goff is close to elite. I'll be honest with you. Let me say one more thing.
Yeah.
If we don't see opening up and we don't see changes by half, if we're looking the same with the non-tackling, non-covering, non-stopping the run nonsense, we better see benchings because Salah doesn't have a long leash. It better happen quick. So,
Fair enough.
Anyway, guys, you have a great day.
Thanks for calling. That added some serious juice to the show. No question about it. That was interestingly, randomly intense. How do you not like?
It's always the quarterback. You start debating quarterbacks, and everyone's got the opinion.
That's true. Right. Everyone's got a take on everybody. All right. Let's squeeze in another super chat here. MFC, appreciate it. And again, every time we get a little MFC action, of course, we got to hear from Zoran.
Wow.
I won't mention any names, Alan. But the negative fans suck the fun out of football. Well, this is how I put it. I just, I just kind of put them aside. Go ahead.
I will say this. Say this. I've been reading the live comments left and right.
Oh my God! I hope you haven't been, but yeah, go ahead.
I don't necessarily disagree with a lot of the concerns Alan is bringing up.
Oh.
Rodgers' mobility being a concern. I'm not arguing that because he's a player coming off an Achilles injury. This was always going to be something that people needed to watch. Not arguing that. I think he needs to give a little more credit. He looked a lot better than we expected. The safety room was, it wasn't good. No one really played well. I think Chuck Clark was probably the best out of everyone, but Tony Adams missed a couple tackles. Ashton Davis was just horrible left and right. The defensive line's been bad. All these concerns. I am not saying that the full-on negative, oh my God, the season's over is right. But to have these concerns is 100% valid. That's all I'm saying. Not saying that it needs to be an overwhelming majority thing. I'm just saying it's week one. Yes, there are plenty of concerns. That does not mean the season's over.
All right.
If they win against the Titans, if they beat the Patriots, and they beat the Vikings, and they beat the Broncos, all winnable teams, you're 4-1 regardless.
Okay, so Nick is a Allen Stan. Didn't see that plot twist coming on a Wednesday, but here we are.
Not saying that he's right about everything, but Rodgers' mobility, the run defense, these are all things that we are talking about.
Okay.
Because there are some concerns. There are things we need to look at.
Fair enough. How much time do you have left here, Nick?
I've got maybe one more call in me.
Okay, all right, let's see. We got to pick a good one here. Let's go to Easy here on the show. You're on the program. What's up, Easy? Oh, no, not this again. Hello?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can. Oh, good Lord. I thought we were going down a different train. Yes, go ahead, Easy. Oh, boy, we can't. Okay, yep. Geez. All right. I know. I said, Nick, let me pick a good one. Okay. Take
Do
two.
one more.
Okay. Johnny boy. Johnny?
There we go. That's the way to end it.
Hey, Nick, what's going on?
Thank God he can hear us. Okay, great.
Paul.
Yes.
Hey, first and foremost, the sky is falling. Everything is messed up.
Obviously.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Look, we need maybe Nick and Boy Green to go ahead and coach up the Jets and save the season. Please, guys.
Yeah.
We need you.
We'll do what we can. I'm surprised that someone hasn't called in to ask, hey, guys, what's your thoughts on the Jets picking number 1 overall in 2025? I'm surprised we haven't gotten that call yet. Yeah, weird.
Look, man, BG, on your show, you know what I mean? You heard me. I said we're going to lose that game and all that. And
It's just fair. That's the expectation. You play the 49ers. They were in the Super Bowl.
And like it was a punch to the face to get the body to know that you're in a fight, right? And it's exactly what happened. All right, look, my whole thing with that game was this: the kicker scored 18 points, 6 field goals.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
crazy.
impressive. Yeah,
that's crazy. Okay, like that doesn't happen very often. The defense, right? Yes, did we get gashed for some big plays? Hands down, yes, we did. Right, but they stopped them to freaking 6 field goals. I was never gonna think dude was gonna kick that many field goals to get 18 points out of the 32 that they had. Do they need to fix stuff? Were we missing Fotu? Are we missing Leonard Taylor? Are we missing? There's bigger players that should be next to Quentin Williams, so they're not like triple teaming dude, right? Because you see him, he's getting like double teamed the whole damn game and everything, and he's still almost breaking stuff in there. I just think everybody needs to like. I get the reasoning behind it, and yes, you know what I'm saying. Everybody's expectations were people were coming on here saying 52-0, 52-3, as if the San Francisco 49ers was just some bum ass team that didn't do anything. Again, I'm not concerned. I'm not worried. Tennessee is coming up, right? Let's go out there, prove to everybody that the Jets are for real. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start the season then, and then rock and roll from there. I mean, it's insane, dude. It's insane. Like we're like fire Salah right now. Who do we bring on if we go ahead and do that?
Doesn't matter. Just bring him on. Bring him on. Just throw him in there. That there's no problem for solutions. It's just I want my guy gone.
Yeah, I mean, people were saying fire Ulbrich already
after the first year. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, even this year? Oh, I missed those tweets.
Dude, there's people like on like
that one.
You know
if they were, call them out because that is absurd.
Yeah. Wow.
You know how the Jet fans get, man. Like,
listen, I'll say this. I appreciate Jet fans because you guys are coming off a loss.
Yeah.
And it's a bad loss. Everyone's upset, and rightfully so. I'm looking at my team, and people are acting like Philadelphia lost by 15 to the Packers because of how somber everyone looks and how everyone's questioning the quarterback. Give me this 10 times out of 10 over the crap that's going on down south.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, so I just, again, I mean, we got outcoached, and Kyle Shanahan is I kept saying it. Why are we not talking about the coach over there, man? That dude knows what he's talking about, and he's going to, if there's a weakness, he's going to expose the living shit out of it and just continue to keep going at it. Again, look, it is what it is. It's the first game, right? It was the first game that the actual team really, really got to get some real
correct
reps all together and all that. And for me, for what I saw from Aaron Rodgers, I'm like, this dude still has it, right? I was never expecting Aaron Rodgers to be the freaking agility monster in the sense of him rolling out to his left to throw a freaking 80-yard. If that's the case, then all that damn money that we pumped into that line was for nothing, because he should be in that pocket feeling nice, having a cup of tea when he goes to London, having some crumpets. I mean, again, it'll be all right. I'm still here rocking my Jets gear. It's still Jets all day. And Faria, how about Saquon freaking Barkley, bro? Dude, I was
beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to be alive.
I saw that and I was like, man, I know my boy Nick is like every single time he touched the ball, he's just doing the Tiger Woods freaking.
It's amazing what happens. Amazing what happens when you're running behind an elite offensive line and not one that's made up of twigs and sticks.
I knew Saquon was going to be good with the Eagles, man. I love that signing. I heard a lot of people make fun of it, and I'm like, you guys have no idea what you're talking about. Saquon's going to be awesome on the Eagles, and he absolutely was in his debut.
Well, BG, Nick, I just say this again.
Yeah.
Right? You made Papa Ezen start swinging up in the air when you said Purdy is better with that, right?
Oh, boy, yeah.
You know, and I agree. I agree.
Oh, thank
you.
Oh, boy. Amazing what happens when you win playoff games.
Yeah, don't tell him that on Saturday. I believe my dad's coming on Saturday. Oh, God, please don't bring that up. The show will be lost. Yeah.
All right, that kid is stepped up, and then now he's added a new freaking dimension to his actual game, and he's running the ball when he needs to. So, hey, look, love both of you guys, man.
Appreciate it.
awesome stuff like that, Nick. I look really forward to all the information you're gonna go ahead and be able to provide for us as well. But it's still Jets, man. We're okay. It was a punch in the mouth. Now we got to go ahead and see how we're gonna come back.
Damn
We'll
straight.
go JETS, baby. Jets, Jets, Jets. Let's go.
Appreciate it, Johnny. Yeah, and I think that will be very important in the Titans game. How does the team and players respond after adversity? The 49ers game. Do they come out sluggish? That would be, to me, a very bad sign if they're coming out lackadaisical. But if they come with a little fire, like, okay, it seems like something worked with some of the messaging. Nick, before we get you out of here, someone wants to say hello or ask a question. We'll do take 2 here. B-Mac, you're back on the show. B-Mac, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm good. I'm sorry. You usually bring me on later, so I wasn't expecting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
let me tell you this.
Well,
B-Mac.
how dare you?
I know, B-Mac. I apologize.
No, it's okay. That's my fault.
Just listen. No, it's my fault. It's my fault. It's my fault. Let me say, I will make sure I put you in your appropriate slot in the future, a primetime slot. I don't know what I was thinking. I know the Jets play the Titans at 1:00 on Sunday, so I just was like, oh, I have to obviously adjust the schedule and put B-Mac early. That's what I thought. That's on me. That's on me. I'm going to get back to the lab. I'm going to get back to the playbook. I'm going to work on it, and I'm going to be better for the next Boy Green Day. I don't have to wait a week like the Jets. I'm going to be ready for the next game. I'm going to be ready for tomorrow morning. So I apologize, B-Mac. I apologize.
No, it's okay. No. That's my fault. I just let my guard down. I let my guard down, and I got it alone.
Well, your guard was down for some time. Like, we had you on, and I was going, B-Mac. Oh, wait, let me ask you a question, if I can. I know you probably have a question. Like, you have headphones in. What are you listening to? Music? Like, right now, what you have headphones in your ears right now. What are you listening to?
Yes, I got headphones.
Yeah. What are you listening to? What what's pumping? What right now is going through your headphones?
I'm listening to you. I use the headphones to call in.
Yeah. So what happened when we're like, B-Mac, hey B-Mac, you had your headphones in. What were you listening to? How could you not hear us? We were like screaming.
No. I can. I was on my phone. I wasn't. You used my headphones.
So were the headphones pumped? They were plugged into your phone.
And then I looked up, and then I saw me on there. And I was like, you know what I mean? So I just wasn't paying attention.
No, that's all right. Anywho, you can, yes, go ahead. Ask your question to Nick. You said you wanted to ask a question, Nick. Go ahead.
First of all, Nick, this is B-Mac. I know you met my brother C-Mac. Apologize for his behavior. You know what I mean? He's a little bit of a weird dude. But yes, this is you truly original B-Mac. I just want to say that, no, guys, calm down, all right? I knew that after this loss, there's going to be a whole bunch of crazy reactions. We got Paul Pierce, who's a basketball player, coming out, commenting, saying that Rodgers is not all in, you know what I mean? We got
Paul Pierce. You don't listen to Paul Pierce on football. Let's just put it that.
How the hell did that even happen? Like, I love Paul Pierce next to the next guy. The truth. I mean, that's all great. When did he become a football analyst? When I see him on the show, like I'm not saying you're making it up, even. Like crazy, I saw him the other day on the sports television. I'm like, what the hell? What's Paul Pierce doing?
Let's also remember this. Crazy thing. If a player says it, if someone says it, it doesn't mean we have to acknowledge it as fact.
That's also true. Yeah, where we carry it on and now it becomes a tie. Can you believe what Paul Pierce said? And by the way, I also thought there'd be a little weird between you guys. We got an Eagles and Packers fan on the show. Like, after the Brazilian Friday Night Football, I wasn't sure if this was going to be tense.
Yeah, and then we got Antonio Brown coming out saying that Rodgers fell off on Twitter. And
he fell off? Like, what about Antonio Brown? What happened to him? Come on, man.
Yeah, man.
Antonio Brown.
A lot of weird takes, but but it's funny. Nobody, is doing this with Kirk Cousins coming out the same injury. Nobody's doing this with Joe
He looked bad. He looked real bad. He wasn't trusting his plant leg or anything. That the tape looked bad, but we'll see what happens.
Joe Barrow looked atrocious, and you know what? I'm taking Aaron Rodgers.
That's elite Joe Burrow to you, buddy.
Joe Barrow right now.
That's elite Joe Burrow. What'd you just say?
Yeah, no, Joe Barrow is not elite in my opinion. I'm taking Rodgers right now over Joe Barrow.
Wow,
just had a better game than Joe Barrow did in Week 1.
Well, if you can't judge it on that, then what can you judge it on? Yeah, there you go. I like that.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson is pitiful. But I just
Yeah.
want to
So what's your question, B-Mac? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's not a question. I'm just bringing some knowledge. I just want to say this.
Knowledge. All right. I'm here to learn.
Some point, Rodgers. People want to talk about Rodgers like on mobility, and I get it. He's not at age 40. Like, give the guy a break. Like, he's 40 years old. He's not 27 no more, man. Like, of course that of course that lack of mobility is gonna fall off. And people forget when he won his back-to-back MVPs not that long ago, he was, he wasn't winning those MVPs because he was rolling outside the pocket and throwing on the one. He won those MVPs because he was playing inside the of the offense, getting the ball out to his playmakers, throwing inside of the pocket. Rodgers was a pure pocket passer with those back-to-back MVP seasons. I know because I'm a Packer fan and I watch those games. Like really watch those games. So I think the mobility is gonna slip, but I think that again he said it yesterday on Pat McAfee's show. He said he felt healthy. He just gotta start trusting that. Trusting that.
And reps are gonna help. So
yeah. And just give Rodgers some more games. To the next few games, and I think he will get into it with them. First game back, the man hasn't played football in almost 2 years. And the one thing is that, look, it's week 1. Everybody needs to relax. The Bengals lost. A bunch of good teams lost week 1.
Sure.
We got these next 2 winnable games. These next few winnable games. Get on a hot streak, and relax.
All right, beautiful. We can copy and paste that message.
I just want to say real quick is that the defense just needs to get it together, man. The defense does need to get it together, especially on the run. That was concerning, and I think Hassan Reddick. I think you need to just pay him, man. Just cave in this.
Okay, I love the take. B-Mac, thank you so much, and Nick, God bless you, sir. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for jumping on, Nick. We'll see you next week.
Of course, thanks, guys.
All right, there he is. Nick Faria joined us here on the show. I see we have a few callers. I'll try to go rapid fire through you guys to make sure we get you on the show. And a few of you guys had technical issues, so we'll try to get through some of those first. All right, EZ, can you hear me? Man. All right, I guess not. EZ having the phone issues. Sorry, EZ. I don't know what's going on with your phone there, man. Let's go next. Bill. Yeah, Bill on the move here. What's up, Bill?
Hey, good morning. How are you today?
It's good to see you. I like the view. Very, very nice.
Yeah, I know. I'm on my way to for physical therapy.
Okay.
My thought was going into the season that the Jets would finish around 12-5.
Mm-hmm.
Take into consideration there would be at least a couple of games where both teams played well, but the other team was just slightly better than us.
Mm-hmm.
And then at least 2 or 3 games where we would see them get off the gate slowly. And I'm not sure which it was Monday night, because the defense just looked out of sync the whole game. I mean, definitely I give kudos to the Niners defense, offense and defense.
Sure.
They played a whale of a game. But I felt the Jet defense was a little bit off.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't see Quinnen being a factor at all. Usually he gets double, maybe triple teamed, and that usually opens it up for the Jets to get their sacks and so on. But I think they completely took Quinnen out of the game, which led to all sorts of issues with the team. And then finally it's like, Aaron, will you please take away the play calling from Hackett?
Please, yes.
For a pass to finally be completed to a tight end late in the fourth quarter tells me all I need to know about his play calling. Oh, I didn't know my tight ends could catch a pass.
Yeah, right.
It is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And then the Niners showed they can stop our run, and we keep trying to run the ball. No play action. I would have even preferred a full house backfield where you would have Allen, Davis, and Reese on the same backfield.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Call all kinds of crazy plays from there and throw them off. Nothing. It was like, we'll play into your hands instead of the other way around.
Yeah. So
So
hopefully we get a bounce back against Tennessee, Bill.
I hope so. I hope so. You have other callers on, I believe so.
Yes.
You guys take care. Everyone out there have a very pleasant day, and don't panic over one loss. Let's see how the rest of the season unfolds first.
I appreciate that, Bill, and good luck in physical therapy, buddy. All right, let's do one more call. We'll go back to this guy. Dave, any final thoughts to close out the show?
Oh, Nick's gone, right? Well,
yeah. Nick had to go, 5 minutes plus ago.
I got caught. Well, I guess the internet failed. I got caught in between that question when I was asking about being an Eagles fan about when they used the wide 9 years ago when Andy Reid was still there. Right. They had that. Do you remember what? I don't know if you're a little young enough, but remember they had that dream team, the Eagles dream team.
Yeah, that was 2012. Yeah, I'm old enough to remember 2012. Yeah.
Remember when they had used that wide 9 and the Andy Reid put his offensive coach in charge of the defense, and the thing totally fell apart. But I remember that year being terrible for the Eagles using that wide 9. They got killed over and over. I just want to ask Nick his objective view of our whole coaching staff.
Okay.
So
we'll get that back. We'll get that back.
Yeah,
he joins us every week, so we'll get that question back in.
And the other thing is just that hey, nobody wants to be negative. Hey, the season just started, and we could see by game 1 the 49ers are a far superior team.
Clearly,
because they've been together, and unfortunately for them, they have better coaching.
Yes, they do. Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
And the use of players by the Jets coaching staff is just at times puzzling to me.
Yeah, very
and the Ashton Davis situation with him playing safety. I mean, if you followed this guy's career, he was a track man.
He was, track star, yeah.
And he was drafted not to play safety, but he was not a safety. I mean, he was a special teams guy, and to see him in the secondary is frightening. It's absolutely frightening. He has limited tackling ability. I like the guy to succeed. Don't get me wrong, but
sure.
The coaching has to know their players, Paul. You really have to know your players and not play guys because you see them every day. You have to know their strengths and weaknesses. We're not there. Nick sees it because he's there all summer. And I'm just really concerned. I'm just really concerned that the defense is just too small up front. They needed it, like Nick said. This what's his name? Leaky Foitu? Is that it?
Yeah. Leaky Foitu is how you pronounce it. Yes.
Foitu? I don't want to mispronounce his name.
No, that's okay.
But we haven't really seen him play, so I really don't. I'm just hoping it works out because they have to plug up that middle.
Of course they do. The only thing I want to push back here is Ashton Davis started 48 games in college at corner and safety. So his first 2 years was as a corner. The last 2 years of his career as a junior and senior was a safety. So he was more than just a special teams guy. He also contributed on special teams on top of his abilities at safety.
He just doesn't have it. He's
okay, that's fair. That's a fair thing to say, yeah.
Nick, we've watched him for years now. He got a few picks, basically in garbage time,
Yeah. Okay.
I don't have anything against the guy. I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
Well, Dave, thanks for the call, brother. I appreciate you. We have time for one quickie, and we have to get to this guy. How could we not? For the love of God, let's bring him in. The guy that we're 24 members away from getting an emoji to, Terrence, live from Cabo.
Oh, what's up, guys?
Whoa, Terrence, what's up, man? You seem very relaxed.
Yeah, I had to call in because something was coming up outside on my balcony, and I wanted to enjoy it with my Jet fans.
Oh, please!
All right, this is the very, very first sunrise on the Pacific Coast for Terrence.
Wow!
Look at
that! Look at those views, Terrence. Good Lord, man!
My very first Pacific Coast sunrise.
That's beautiful, man. I've never. That's terrific.
I wanted to enjoy it with my Jet fans, so that we can continue to bring up that positive energy.
Damn straight. Right? We need it.
We keep working. We keep moving forward. We keep doing what we have to do, and eventually we'll get to the levels we need to get to.
Damn straight.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm glad I came in. I was glad I was able to get the Wi-Fi working, man. It was a hassle.
Yeah.
But here I am, and let's keep it going, guys.
Appreciate
JETS, Jets.
There he is, Terrence, baby, enjoying Cabo, and let's give him on his way out here. Let's give him a JETS. Terrence calling in from Cabo, giving us a taste of the sunset. Beautiful. Thank you for everyone who called on the show. That was wild. To the 500 people in the room right now, make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, spread the gospel of Boy Green Daily. We're live every single day at 7:30 in the morning. And then on other days of the week, we're on multiple times. Thursdays, I'm on at 7:30 in the morning and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Fridays, on at 7:30 in the morning and then around 4 o'clock in the afternoon with Jake Asman. And that streams on this channel as well. So we're on all the damn time, baby. It's 100% New York Jets content all day, every day. Hopefully you guys can enjoy it. We will have several Tennessee Titans insiders on this week. I book one for Friday morning on Boy Green Daily. We have one on Thursday afternoon, and I might also get an additional Boy Green Daily 7:30 on Thursday as well. I'll keep you guys posted on that so we could get a full preview of the Jets-Titans game. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Take care.